Hello and welcome everyone to this short presentation on leadership skills for researchers. As we all know, doctors play different roles such as practitioner, teacher, researcher, mentor, supervisor, administrator, and so on at the same time. Doctors tend to be already a group of quick learners, creative thinkers, and persistent problem solvers. As faculty of a medical institution, we are engaged in research and development activities. But there is something else that can make each of us a more valuable and effective researcher, which is nothing but the leadership skills. At the end of this presentation, you should be able to define research leadership, importance of leaders for quality research outcomes, core research leadership skills, and leadership styles. High-profile reports have proved leadership and management skills are required to ensure the provision of high-quality patient care. Active participation of clinicians in leadership and management appears beneficial, and positive associations have been found between doctors appointed to hospital boards of directors and clinical outcomes and overall performance. Clinical quality depends on interprofessional teamwork, and therefore leadership and management skills are needed at all levels. Researchers with strong leadership skills can understand the technical aspects of their job and motivate team members, think strategically, advance projects, and stick to a budget. In this competitive academic and research professional environment, acquiring leadership skills can also facilitate new career options in the field of research and development. What is leadership? Research leadership. Research leadership is defined as the capacity to influence people in research-related behavior. In research-related behavior, attitudes, or intellectual capacity. Research leadership is the act of guiding a team or individual to achieve a certain goal through direction and motivation. Now let us see the determinants of effective research leadership. Leaders should effectively influence their people to enhance their capacity in their field. Effectiveness in research activities as evidenced by outcomes of research. That is another determinant of effective research leadership. That is your outcomes, the effectiveness are evidenced by the outcomes of your research. Then the next important determinant is appropriate choices or decision-making is another determinant of effective leadership. One of the success indicators of a leader is how far the leadership role has contributed to achieve requisite standards in the chosen field. Then at the end of the day, a researcher should not only see how many are following him or her, following his or her footstep, they should also see how many leaders they have created. So that is the effect process within research activity. Leadership skills are important no matter how long you have been in research. At school and during undergraduate education, we are a leader of our own time and took responsibility for completing the steps necessary to finish projects. As postgraduate students, we have managed research projects by working in teams, sharing our results, and seeking research mentors. Some of us have even taught students and led them through our lesson plans. As postdoctorates and fellow of certain fellowship programs, we must have taken ownership of projects, established collaborations, sought funding opportunities, and led teams. Now, as professors, we are leading projects, teams, and labs, motivating and educating our team members and communicating our research findings. Now, let us see the most important core research leadership skills. Let's take a closer look at some core skills that all leaders in research need to possess. Picking one or two of the following leadership skills to develop will be a solid start in making you a more competitive and productive researcher. Communication skill. One of the most key attributes for leadership is communication skills. Leaders must be able to clearly articulate their goals and expectations to their teams and stakeholders. So they should be open to feedback, recognize the team for successes, and reassure them in failure. For this to happen, leaders should develop listening skill, reading skills, speaking, writing, and nonverbal communication skills. Building relations or relationships. Relationships are about building trust with others so that you have a network that you can use to give and receive support and knowledge. Strong relationships help you work better in teams and find opportunities such as funding and mentorship. Try to find a mentor who can help you. Strategic thinking. Strategic thinking in academics and research refers to having a plan in place that defines goals, approaches that you will take to reach those goals, time-bound, measurable objectives that define the desired outcomes, and the tools that you will use to do it all ensures your team knows your expectations and the plan to get where you need to go. Project management. Planning, organizing, directing, staffing, coordinating, and budgeting are the key skills required for project managers. Delegation is also a necessary part of good project management. Decision making. Effective decision making requires research and analysis of present situation and future forecasting. So as a researcher of a project or a research team, we should learn to take right and well-informed decisions. Time management. In academia, time management is a critical skill to bring efficient and effectiveness in any workplace. Financial discipline. Knowing where to find funding, how to stay within restrictive budgets, and what is required for reporting will help you get the next budget approved. Influence. Influential people. If a researcher is expected to influence people through actions and evidence-based outcomes so that they tend to follow your leadership. At the same time, leaders should also get influenced by their followers. Conflict management. We have talked about being a team leader but in the soft skills, but there will be times when you or somebody else in the team will have problems with the other team members. These could be related to the behavior of a person or can be related to the way somebody does his or her job. Such conflicts need to be resolved amicably through discussions. Conflict resolution is another important skill set every clinical researcher must have. Next, integrity, including work ethics. Integrity in leaders refers to being honest, trustworthy, and reliable. Leaders with integrity act in accordance with their words, that is, they practice what they preach and own up to their mistakes as opposed to hiding them or blaming their team members or making excuses. Leaders strive for honesty in all scientific communications. They honestly report data, results, methods, and procedures and publication status. Research leaders do not fabricate, falsify, or misrepresent the data. And they do not deceive colleagues or research sponsors or the public. Research leaders respect intellectual property rights. Last but not the least, patience and ability to challenge your existing skill set are also considered as core leadership skills. So though there are a lot of research leadership skills, these are some of the important skills or the core leadership skills that are essential for a leader in research. The literature posted in the Google Classroom will give you insights into the various attributes of an effective leader of a research team or a research institution. You can use this framework to think about any leadership styles you encounter. So there are different kinds of leadership styles. Here we are going to discuss only about the 4 leadership skills, with the 4 common leadership skills, that is autocratic, democratic, transformational leadership, and laissez-faire leadership. Autocratic leaders have a high task emphasis and low people emphasis. They do not consult the stakeholders or their followers or subordinates while taking a decision. That is why they are considered as high task emphasis and low people emphasis leaders. Next are the democratic leaders who take into account the stakeholders whenever they want to make a decision. Democratic leaders have a high task emphasis as well as a high people emphasis. The third kind of leaders are transformational leaders who influence people with their behavior. They serve as a role model and make their followers to follow their footsteps. So such leaders are called as transformational leaders. Transformational leaders have a low task emphasis and high people emphasis. The next category are the laissez-faire people, laissez-faire leaders. They have low task emphasis and low people emphasis. So laissez-faire leaders give freedom to the knowledge and skill set of their followers. So there is a reason the boxes in the diagrams are labeled 1 to 4, and it has to do with subordinates. The higher the skill level of our subordinates, the higher the box number, and the more appropriate that style of leadership is for those subordinates. So autocratic leadership is good for people with a very low skill level, whereas laissez-faire leadership works for people with a very high degree of skill. Essentially, the leader's behavior should change according to which quadrant the followers' capabilities fall. Another point to note from this diagram is that from this matrix is that the abilities of a leader, both in terms of soft skills and hard skills, must increase as we move from box 1 to 4. Now, how to improve your leadership skills? These are some of the ways how you can improve your leadership skills. That is, reflect and identify the skills you need to lead effectively and create your action plan to develop them. Ask for feedback from work colleagues, other stakeholders, and your followers. Practice. Take on responsibility whenever there is an opportunity. Try to take responsibility and reflect on your performance. Find a mentor, learn from positive leadership role models. Attend further leadership and management training. Use resources. There are a lot of resources available in the public domain, which you can use it for your self-development. Research leadership in medicine and allied health sciences is a challenging but highly rewarding career option. Leadership can be achieved through experience and relevant training. Thank you.